you guys and gals. Tons of talk about Q lately, and I don't know that anybody cares, but I'm going to share my thoughts. Q is supposedly like a military operation that releases these Q alerts and Q drops that is like information and riddles type of a thing, or not encoded, but you know, stuff like with wordplay, like look to the east in 2 months and the bright light's gonna happen, and people look at it and like, whatever, somebody's gonna get nuked, or what people read into it. I followed Q since the election for maybe a couple years, back when Trump was going to end the corruption and throw everybody in jail, and whatever, and evildoers were going to be made to pay. Trust the plan. Jeff Sessions was going to lock everybody up, and that fell through. And then his successor was going to lock everybody up, and that fell through. And here we are a few years later, and I don't know of really any Q predictions that have come true. A broken clock is right twice a day, so there may be some, but in my experience, Q is kind of like Nostradamus, encrypted, cryptic, riddled prediction that could be anything. And when anything happens, people are like, see, they were right, and you're like, well, that could have been any number of things. And when the stuff doesn't happen, then they just count on the fact that they misread the information, or whatever. But I got a few things about Q that just tell me, besides the fact that they have not been reliably accurate, just a few things about Q. Any military operation, especially like special ops, stuff like that, requires, utmost secrecy. Once the secrecy is blown, once the plan is out, the plan is dead. It's not going to happen. The bad guys adapt, move, hide, whatever. So the fact that these high-ranking government officials leaking all this stuff to people on the internet, hundreds of thousands of people, makes no sense. That would not happen. Once stuff gets leaked, it's dead. So anything that gets leaked by Q is almost guaranteed not to happen. Secondly, the Q drops are always like riddles. Just, nonsensical whatever that anybody can read anything into. There's no reason for this. It's not like we have an Enigma machine to decode. Any doofus on the internet can decode these things. And there's no reason for it. Just come out and say what's going to happen. If you're going to put the information out there, just say it. It's not like the bad guys can't decipher your code. And they don't, it's not like they don't understand the messages just like everybody else. So it's to make people feel like they're part of an elite group, like digital warriors, or they're in on the plan because they get these coded messages.
In a half mile, keep left at the fork to stay on Florida 429 South.
Thank you, navigation. Anyway, so it's like the thing they used to get in the cereal boxes, the decoder ring. You felt like you were part of an elite 007,
Keep left at the fork to stay on Florida 429 South.
James Bond type group, when in reality, millions of kids had the same decoder ring.
Continue on Florida 429 South for 6 miles.
So, those are just my thoughts on Q. I don't believe in Q. I think Q is an elaborate hoax that is keeping a lot of people occupied. and people follow it with almost like a religious devotion. You know, anybody I talk to on that believes in Q, when I tell them I don't really believe in Q, you know, they don't always, but a lot of times they'll look at you like you're a moron. It's like, you know, well, I used to believe in Q, and Q proved itself to be unreliable. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You can't force someone to think and believe what you think and believe. So I don't have any problem with people believing in Q. You know, I mean, I think the information will lead you to the truth about Q. But in the meantime, you know, I'm not hostile towards people who believe or don't believe or whatever. I really don't care. You know, people believe stranger things. You know, if you want to, you know, and it's not that I don't hope sometimes, you know, or it's not that I don't hope that things Q says come true. I mean, there are a lot of really good things that I wish would happen, you know, world-changing things, but I don't see it. I don't see anything that would lead me to believe that that's happening. In fact, the fact that they're leaking it would tell me that it's not happening, because if I know it, certainly everybody else, you know, who is on the bad side involved knows it. So they'll just adapt and overcome and, you know, laugh at people for leaking classified information or whatever. So anyway, just my thoughts. Like I said, I don't care what you believe as far as Q. I just, you know, that's my opinion on it. Take it for what it's worth. Talk to you later.